We are in a women's colony. We came here to hear the stories of 3 girls convicted of drug-related charges. We asked them the same questions about what their life was like before the sentencing, how they first encountered drugs, and how their days behind bars were going. How did drugs come into your life?
I was born near Moscow, in a small town. I grew up in a full, loving family, and my childhood was as happy as possible. I studied well at school, went to university, and chose the direction of state and municipal administration. But later I realized that it wasn't mine. I started looking for myself and found myself in marketing and PR. At first, I worked in an office for 8 hours a day, but with the development of the internet, I switched to freelancing. She ran Instagram and created visual concepts for brands. One day, a man wrote to me in private messages and offered to make a design for his website. The site turned out to be a currency exchanger. Everything went well, the client liked it, and he began to order new covers, logos, banners. Only the names of these stores were unfamiliar to me. Over time, they became familiar to me. It turned out that I was making covers for stores on the darknet. At first it seemed harmless, just a beautiful picture, just a showcase. Then I'm sitting in the car with these crystals.
I'm originally from Serga, fell in love, got married, and so it went on for a long time. One day, after everything was happening on WhatsApp, he was telling me what to do. I went, picked it up, laid it out, and made 8 bookmarks. It was my first and only time. I was immediately detained.
What kind of relationship do you have with him now?
On the day of my detention, he left the city. No one has seen him since. Not my family, not him.
How did your family react?
It was very hard, especially when there are other children at home, and one of them gets into such a situation. But my family didn't reject me. They support me. They're waiting for me.
I was here because I was stupid. Out of great desperation. I stuttered. I was preparing to become a teacher. I saw something sublime in this, almost a mission. But then I realized that schools are not up to mentoring. Everything depends on standards, instructions, and formalities. It became very sad. But in practice, it was necessary to teach lessons and work. I worked and studied. Emotionally burned out. And then, a mistake happened. The one that became a crime.
Have you been using?
There was such a period. Yes, there were acquaintances connected with this world. I knew about him, as probably everyone knows. It's just that one day I was offered to earn some extra money. But I had neither the strength nor the money. Everything matched up.
How did you feel when you were detained? This is one of those questions that a psychologist asks in a pretrial detention center.
Awareness does not come immediately. Not at the moment when the door closes behind you, but when handcuffs are put on your hands. Then it flashed through my mind, what have I done? Is it hard for me to remember that day? The day itself is not. It's much harder to remember everything that led to it. I remember him by the seconds. It was in Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk. I had to make a major bookmark, wholesale. But it so happened that I ended up in the hospital with appendicitis. After leaving there, despite the instructions and risks, I went to the forest park area. There was a car parked at the turn. 2 guys. I wasn't paying attention, but then they stopped me and showed me my ID. Operation. I smiled and handed over my passport. I'm a tourist. They didn't believe me. They saw that I had made flights, including international ones. And I had a kilo of drugs in my backpack. First impression. You know what kind of relief? I felt calm. I didn't cry. I'm just tired. All this was already weighing on me. And also fear. None of my family knew where I was. I couldn't tell them. It was hell. The first 3 days are the hardest. Camera, silence, suspense. Then there is a feeling of unreality of what is happening. Until the deadline is announced, everything seems to be not with me.
What is the hardest thing in prison?
Leaving a long date, especially for the first time. I haven't seen my family in years. Sometimes the detention center is far away, then quarantine, then the courts. And then they come, and you realize in a couple of days they will leave, and you will stay.
The hardest thing to realize is that you are no longer part of the family. People change. Your father arrives, and you see how old he has become.
Mom lives in Novorossiysk. It's a long flight through Sochi. It's hard for her. That's why I don't ask her to come often. The most difficult thing is the lack of communication with relatives.
Are there any joys?
Joy is when you do something and you succeed. I paint portraits, and if I like him myself, that's happiness. There was no time or reason for this outside, but here it is.
The biggest joy is a long date. Hug mom, just to be around.
Joy is in people. There are so many bright, kind girls here. We sing, dance, and read together. We all love to look at the sky. Here in Moshaika is the most beautiful sky I have ever seen. Sometimes I look out the windows of the house next door and think, how stupidly we worried outside, because of the curtains, because of the kitchen, because of everyday trifles. But happiness is simple. There are relatives nearby, there is tea, there is a book.
What are your dreams?
I want to go to Africa to visit a friend I met in jail. She comes from a country where there are no orphanages, and wealthy families help children. My dream is to adopt a child there and give him a chance.
I want to realize myself in creativity. I realized that it was mine. I used to be afraid. What am I going to do? Work for 5,000. And now I know that if you do what you love, everything will work out.
I want my agency back. To work in the field of marketing, design, it. When all this happened, GPT was just appearing. I've already tried to work with him. I want to return to Kamchatka, where I felt at home.
What would you say to those who are free?
Don't do anything stupid. Listening to parents is trite, but true. If something has happened in your life, look not for what, but for what. The main thing is freedom and family. Money is just a means, not the goal. Bad methods cannot achieve good goals. It may seem that I'll make money faster and I'll quit, but this is an illusion. Evil will always be punished. And drugs are evil. Drugs don't make anyone happy. They destroy. While you have been reading these stories, 2 more people in Russia have been imprisoned under narcotic articles. And by the end of the day, about 20 more Russians will die from an overdose. Take care of yourself. Stay away from it. Life is there, even here. But it's better to be free.
What do you think about this story? Write in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channels so you don't miss any amazing new stories. See you.